Hey everybody, how are you? It started with Stampin' with Chaos. I wanted to hop on today and do a video. I had to cancel my class. My numbers were super low and I was okay with it. It has been one heck of a super busy weekend between kids sports, and I was out of town watching Trin play softball all day yesterday, so I was okay with it. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, but we will definitely be having one in October. And as soon as I figure out the date, I will post it out there. So we're going to do a shaker card. This is one that we were going to make there. And if you can listen, you can see the little confettis in there. It was super fun to make. Oh, I forgot to put doodads on it. So this is what I'm going to hop down and show you how to make and some of the different supplies that I used. Okay, so let's go ahead. I've got a lot of it's cut out, but we'll do all the stamping on live. So I'm going to go ahead and stick you down. So this is our bubble bath paper, and it was 8.5 by 11. And instead of cutting it, I cut it the long way. So I cut it at 4 1/4. So you've got 4 1/4 by 11, and then you score it at 5 1/2 to make the card look like that. Okay. And then I just kind of got everything scattered here this morning. I'll get my bone folder. Okay. The inside of the card I'm going to do first. And what I did is we've got a white piece of, so this actually ends up being 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So we're going to go 5 1/4 by 4 on the white piece. And I am going to stamp it using two different stamps. So the first one is going to be out of this, let me get this out of the way here. So much for organization. Magical Date. This is an old Stampin' Up! Stamp set. I purchased it on a buy, sell, and trade site, and I absolutely love it. I've made cards using the dragon, and we're doing the shaker card with the Little Mermaid. Just adorable. So I'm going to go ahead and use part of that one first, and it's got the little tiny seahorse. So I'm just going to put that down here on the corner over here in black. This one required me to do a little bit of coloring with my stamping blends, which could be fun, and it can be fun and it can be irritating depending on how you do in coloring. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. So I'm just going to take this and very lightly. So our Stampin' Blends, you don't have to push very hard. And honestly, on this one, because it's such a small image, I am just tapping. And it just fills in for you. I am not pushing down. I'm not coloring. And you really have to kind of watch the end. It does have a harder end on this side. But for this little guy, I'm using the softer end and just tapping it in there to try to stay within the lines. The second thing I'm going to stamp with is using our Grandkids stamp. I love this stamp set. This one I believe I got last year. But we're going to use the So Smart, So Fun, So Sweet, and Wonderful image. And we are going to stamp in Highland Heather, which is this beautiful purple that I just got all over my hands. I'm hoping that my stuffy nose is just allergies, because this is kind of ridiculous today. I think it's the weather changing. Yesterday was hot and then a little bit cooler. And okay. So the one thing I want to tell you is when on our stamps, sometimes when we put, because the wording has the sticky part that goes down, sometimes it doesn't get on straight. So what I've had to do on some of my stamps, I have to go by this red piece, because this should be straight. So like on this one, I can tell you that I don't think it's on there straight. So, but if I look at the red bottom of the stamp, kind of place it where I want it, and then look at the red part, I can pretty much get it on there straight. There we go. And that is all I'm absolutely going to do with this right now. I'm going to go ahead, let it dry a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere it to the inside. Get that part out of the way. Super cute. This is such a fun, easy card. The next thing I'm going to do is I took my DSP, and on this one, I am using the Thoughtful Journey. This is really kind of, I love the 6x6 DSP. You've heard me talk about it many a times. And this one actually, this is the back side of it. It is so pretty. It's more like watercolor painting, but I'm going to use this side of it because it has kind of the magical colors of the pinks and the teals and the blues in it. So that's what we're going to use. And I'm going to put the lighter side up on the top part because we are going to stamp that one. And that is going to say happiest of birthdays. And this stamp is called Throughout the Year, which is another one that I absolutely love. Okay, and we're going to use the Highland Heather one more time. And depending on where your cutout is, and I've already punched it out, so I will show, oh no, I haven't punched it out. So I cut a piece of 4.5 by 3.25 cardstock, which is this in the bubble bath, and it's going to go over the top. So I'm using our decorative circle punch. And what I'm going to do, I love our punches because you can turn them over and see exactly where you're punching. So you can also use, I use the layering circle dies as well, but I found that this one was easier. So I'm going to use this one. And I just kind of, you know me, I just kind of wing it. So I'm just kind of making sure that it's kind of centered in the middle type deal. Okay, that looks pretty straight to me. And then punch it out. And then what I'm going to do, just so that you can see how I do this, I kind of lay it down to see where the stamp is going to go in the middle. But I want it more on the lighter side. So it's going to go, you know, approximately right there. Like I said, I always wing everything. You know that. Okay. Important part is to keep your paper straight. That's why I like this. I can line it up. And then we're kind of in the middle, but it's going to be a little bit down. So there we go. And then when you put that over, you just kind of center it over it. It worked out perfect. Okay. So then it needs a window, right? So we do have, I believe they're called window sheets. And in the information, I will definitely put down the item number. I had a hard time getting window sheets from Stampin' Up. They were out of stock so much. So I ended up going on to Amazon and getting mine. But they're the exact same thing. Now, the biggest thing is you don't want any of your confetti to fall out the side. So on the window sheets, I'm going to use, because I want it to make sure it sticks, I'm going to use our tear tape because I don't want it moving around. Just kind of measure it out, stick it down. And you're not going to see this in the window, so make sure you keep it around the edges. You don't want it in anywhere towards the middle, because then you'd be able to see it. So just do all 4 corners. You guys, can you believe it is the middle, almost the end of September? I have no idea where the time goes. It's just crazy. I was sitting there the other day thinking I have got to start on Christmas. We are going to cut back this year because it's so expensive. So we're doing just the 12 days for the grandkids, and the parents are they're going to adult. They're not going to get anything, unfortunately. They get a big hug from us, but usually we do a little bit more, but I told Paul, we just got to cut back with the rest of them. So I got to get on that though. Because with that being said, I want to do a little bit, some of them are kind of cheesy, so I want to do a little bit better ones. But okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to put your window, the sticky side down, and make sure you have the right side of whichever side you want your die cut. And you're going to, so this is actually going to go on the inside. So I'm going to stick it down and make sure that you can't see the tape through the hole. And then there's your window. See that? And nobody's going to see this side because it's going to be down on the paper. Okay. So then the next thing I do is we are going to use, now, you know how we have I call them pop-ups, but they're called dimensionals. Well, this is called foam adhesive strips. And it comes in a package. You get 2 of them in there. It is so cool. So instead of using little round dots, because that would not seal this, they have, and these are made for doing shaker cards. Now, one thing I learned is you do not want to be right on the edge because you can eventually see it. So go in just a little and put your double-sided strip down. But you also have to make sure that you are right to the edge because you don't want any of the shaker to come out. And ask me how I know that. You know, there might be a reason I know that's what happens. Okay, I have made 3, 4, 8, I think 10 of these shaker cards, and I still have 1 package of strips and this left. So you don't need it lasts. It's one of those that, you know, you're gonna use, but you're gonna have enough to use for later, and it's worth the price. These are so fun to make. I seriously could make one of these for every birthday. I just really like making them. And we do sell the confetti stuff. These are called iridescent shaker circles. But you know, they come out for Christmas. I think we have snowflakes. So I'm really excited. I want to do a snow globe shaker card. But then also, you can cut little confettis out of cardstock and use that. Okay, so now see how it's all up. It's popped up. Can you see that it's got the good dimension on the deal? Now what you're going to do is we're going to take we're going to do 2 things. We're going to go ahead and take all of our double-sided tape off. The last one I made, I took it all off but one side, and then I always try to shake it to make sure it doesn't come out. Guess what? It's the simple things, guys. It's the simple things. Okay. Okay, but now I don't want to stick it down because I got to get my confetti in there. So I'm going to take the confetti, and I think I got 4, 5, 6, 7 cards out of the last thing of confetti. I've found the more you put in there, I think it looks better because you can tell it's a shaker card then. But just scoop it all into the middle until you get your top piece put on. Okay, line it up. Get it square and straight. And then stick it down. See, so I have enough in there that I can see the bottom so you can tell it's a shaker card. Now we're going to go ahead and glue. Honestly, I was supposed to, this step I missed. This was supposed to be glued on the card first. Then you wouldn't have the trouble getting your other, but it's fine. It all worked out. It would just be easier for you if you glue the DSP paper down after you stamp it first. Okay, so there's our card. Now we're going to take these 2 cute little mermaids off of this magical, the Magical Day stamp set. And like I said, this is definitely an older stamp set. And we are going to stamp, I'm going to stamp 2 mermaids in black. Get really good. And then we're going to cut them out after we color them. And this is where my eyes get a little crazy. So sometimes it's harder for me. And the colors I'm going to use light pecan pie for the hair. And this is where I struggle. And this one, it's your preference. If you want to use the soft tip or I cannot talk and do this at the same time. I have ruined many a mermaids. Oh, that was close. Now, if I get a little bit out on the edge, it's okay because I am going to die cut it out. But sometimes, there was a couple times I thought, oh, that's just fine, and it wasn't fine. Then I'm going to take my ivory, and we're going to color her face and her little arms here. And then I'm going to take the Bubble Bath color, which I'm doing the light one first. And that's what I'm going to color her clothes in. And then I'm going to take the dark Bubble Bath and go over the top of her scales and on her, just to add a little bit of color. Okay. Now the next one I did was the purple. So it was the same one. I'm only going to do one. And I used our, what do you call this? Our light fresh freesia and our dark fresh freesia. You could use the same purple, also the Highland Heather, the light and the dark, but I kind of wanted it to, because see how it kind of all blends in there. So I kind of wanted to do the same thing. And then we're going to cut that out. And I'm going to use my mini stamping machine because this one will actually work for that. And I'm going to see if I can bring you up. Hold on. If I don't lose the whole arm here. So we put the one plate down. This machine is awesome. You just can only do little stuff. You can't do any big stuff. So what you're going to do is, this came with die cuts as well. You're going to line up the die cut. And you can put tape down if you need to, but I'm not going to. And then you just lay, so you go the home plate, then you go 2 number 2 plates, and just hold it down, and then it just reels it through. So easy. I love this machine because it's so small and it's just really light. The bigger one, where you do all the embossing and the big dies, it works fantastic, but it's so heavy. Okay, and then we're just going to pop it out. Not cute? Okay. So then let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put you down again a little bit. My dad's ornament. And then I used, oh, see this one little middle piece you have to take out like that. There you go. Okay, and then what I did, because I had extra little strips, instead of using the circle dimensionals, I just went ahead and used these little pieces I had left over and used them on the mermaids and popped the mermaids up. Now this card, you would probably pay $8 to $10 in a store. It is not going to cost you $8 to $10 to make it, because yeah, you're going to spend a little bit on the supplies, but the supplies make more than one card. Like I said, the strips, I've gotten a bunch of, I mean, I still have strips left. The window sheets the same way. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick this little baby on here, and then we would put the purple one down here, or up here, whichever way you wanted to do it. And just to save time, I'm not going to do it. And then the doodads I used, these are called the Faceted Gems Trio Pack. And I liked them because they're kind of, oh, what do I want to, I don't know, they're sparkly, they're shiny, they're bright, and I think it looks really cute. So there you go. And if you wanted to, you definitely could stamp or doodle on the outside. I didn't want to. I liked how it turned out the way it did. So there you go. I will put the lists of supplies that I used in my blog, so you'll be able to find the link to be able to go over to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will be talking to you soon. Thanks. Have a great Sunday, and this is Darla from Stampin' with Chaos. See you later.